Yo, as music producers, we're learning stuff every single day. I know myself, I'm learning something every single day. So for that, this is my part 2 video of top 5 tips for music producers. Thanks for checking it out. Tip number 1, honesty. Now, when you're in the studio and you're working with an artist, especially if you're also engineering the session, I think honesty, transparency is very important when you're dealing with the artist. So my theory is to be a managing member of the team versus being a friend. And what I mean by that is, you're dealing with a guy who's an artist. If it's not fire, it's not fire. Let him know. Let his girlfriend, let his friends lie to him and tell him it's dope. Be honest and be upfront and be courteous in the way that you're doing it. So tip number 1 is honesty and transparency when you're working with an artist. Tip 2, don't burn bridges. The industry is small with a lot of different people running around in one small industry. You never know who you run into on the way up or on the way down. Do not burn bridges. Always be courteous, always be respectful, always be honest and kind when you're dealing with other artists or producers, because you just never know. Do not burn bridges. You may be going to a club one day or to a studio and you run into that same person where you burned that bridge at just recently. Just whatever you do, do not burn bridges. Always be kind and courteous to everybody that you come across. Rule number 2, tip number 2, do not burn bridges. Tip number 3, do not release the material unless it's paid in full. Now, I know that's difficult. People want to hear a sneak preview or they want to hear a rough of what you're working on. Trust me, do not release the material until you're paid completely. People may have full intentions on paying you on the date set, but things can come up, especially when they already have the product. So whatever you do, do not release material until you're paid in full. Tip number 3. Tip number 4, this is a mistake that I've made a lot as a young producer. Always ask for credits. Let it be known up front. Set a standard that credits is something that you always want. Sometimes credit is more important than anything else. You may be dealing with an independent artist who generates $1 a month. So obviously that's not a monetary benefit for you, but the credits could be. Now, you can be dealing with an artist who's nobody at the time, figuratively speaking, and get signed based off of a song that you produced. Now, you're part of that song, so you want your credits, you want paperwork, of course, because you want to make sure you get credit. They signed this artist for that particular song. Chances are they may want to remix it or remake that song with a bigger, hotter producer. But if you've already got a vested interest in it, you'll be protected. So always set a standard and a precedent, and you want credit for everything that you work on. Tip number 4, credits. Tip number 5, when dealing with artists who have requests for specific type of beats, make sure you ask plenty of questions. BPM, arrangement, length, instrumentation, mood, low pass. You want to know everything that they want as far as production, so that way you don't waste your time playing different things for them that they won't be interested in. You can never ask too many questions when a person requests a specific type of beat. Make sure you ask all the questions, so that way when you go into it, you already go into it with a mindset of you already have what this guy is looking for. So number 5, ask as many questions as possible. And those are my top 5 producer tips, part 2 for music producers. If you like the content, like, subscribe, share the content. Follow us on Instagram at The Brand Studio LA. Follow Who Is B Style on Instagram.com for any visual needs. Shout out to everybody for checking it out. Peace.
Paradise. Paradise. Paralyzed. What's going on? What's going on? Giving up. I can hit 'em up. Change. I'm on the race to see paradise. All the police shootings got me paralyzed. All I got is music.